Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's a Tuesday night here at Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending your weeknights here with us on our favorite sports radio station. If you have any questions at all, 321-282-1055. Good job tonight, Nikki. Football with all the sports news live, local, loud. We follow them every single weeknight. Also, you can watch the show at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. And if you would, watch the TV show. It is Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m., TV 27. To my left, my co-host, good friend, who I thought was calling in sick today there at the last minute, Allie Mack. Hi, Allie Mack. How are you?
You always think the worst
Brianna
of me.
said she's not coming.
Always.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So you guys must be up to
There's
something.
a story behind that.
Because
I didn't say I was sick.
I'm getting mixed. I didn't say I didn't mean calling in sick. I thought you were just like not showing up today. But you're here.
But
That's all
I'm
that
here.
matters.
Are you happy though?
I'm very happy that you're here.
Yay.
That's all that really matters. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
We're going to do your news here in a few minutes. Of course, we're going to play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour. A very special interview today with attorney Brandon Stewart. I wanted to have him in because I wanted to ask him the real question that we all are asking ourselves. When you see the billboard driving down the street that says, I got $500,000, right? From your personal injury case, does that really mean you get $500,000? We will take that up with Brandon Stewart, the attorney, personal injury attorney, here in just a few minutes as well. To my right, producing the show, it's the beautiful Brianna. Hello, Brianna. Your mic is actually on.
Is it now?
You may talk, dear. You may talk.
I'm oftentimes falsely accused of not turning on her mic.
Falsely accused.
There's a delay.
Well, normally I say, hey, Brianna, how was your weekend? She's like, fine. Yeah, so I won't
She has
even bother
nothing to
turning your
say
mic
or
on.
anything.
I don't bother because half
No.
the time it's not on.
No, half the time.
Well, that's probably why.
No, half the time, I think she's the one out there doing the craziest stuff, and she's just acting all
Yeah.
innocent.
It's always the quiet ones, if you
I
noticed.
didn't do anything this weekend, really.
Always the quiet ones.
To be a fly on that wall.
I'd be like this, with my eyes closed.
You blush and fly.
So we're going to get to Allie Mack's news in 1 minute, but I said a little prayer this morning, and I was like, I can't wait to hear Allie Mack's news, what's going on with Allie Mack, because I got to get updated. I'm just praying that you have a story, that guy from Empire who, hired someone to beat him up, allegedly. I'm just hoping that's part of your news today. But we're going to find out here on what's going on with Allie Mack.
If it's on the internet, she's talking about it. It's what's going on with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
Please tell me, if God, if you're really out there, please tell me Allie Mack has a Justin Smollett, if that's his name, story.
I actually do have a story on him. So,
good.
like you know, he claimed that he was beat up
By his
outside
buddies.
of his apartment complex or his building, and by two gentlemen. And I guess he was choked.
Yeah.
And some other slurs were said to him and stuff. He wound up in the hospital and all that. But authorities were actually investigating.
Yeah.
And found out something very peculiar, that the two men that were allegedly beat him up were actually well-known people in his circle. As a matter of fact,
they're
it's his
extras on the show Empire with him. And
one
his
is his
bodybuilder.
personal trainer.
This is the most unbelievable story. Now, let's be honest with each other here.
Insane.
Chicago, you have many, many, many worse problems to deal with. I don't know how many of your police resources we want you to use on Justin Smollett, but please keep giving us these stories because they're just getting out of control. And then I think the show is on ABC or Fox or what is it? But he did an interview.
Empire.
He did an interview the other day on one of these Good Morning America type shows, and they were like, "Oh yeah, his story is starting to add up." Whatever. It's just unbelievable to me.
It is.
Let's bring Brandon Stewart in for a minute. Do you mind? Hey, Brandon, welcome to the show. But I need to have your take on this Justin Smollett story. What do you think about this? Welcome to the show.
It brings good publicity.
To what? Empire?
Wasn't he trying to... What was the original story? You claimed it was some type of hate crime?
Yeah, a hate crime, but also they were saying that his character was going to be written off.
Right.
before. So they're claiming that he wanted to bring a little bit more publicity to his name, but I think that he didn't really think it through. He didn't really think of the actual magnitude of what would actually happen if they would find out.
Right. I mean, it sounds like he wanted some attention.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's one thing for Kim Kardashian to like release a pornography video or something to, or you know, one of these actresses who have a movie coming out do some bikini photos in Cabo or something. I get that. That's fine, right? But to hire someone and accuse them of racism, hire them to beat you up. I mean, come on. This is just out of control.
There's some type of agenda to it, I'm sure.
This is one of the most crazy
Gotta
stories
get him
I've
on the
ever
show
heard.
to ask him.
Brianna, what do you think happened? Any predictions? What do you think?
I think it's just one of those clear-cut cases of not thinking things through, and it catches up with you really fast, like Balloon Boy.
I mean, I hope he was on drugs or, you know, drunk or some. Surely he was on some sort of intoxicant, right?
So they said that after the alleged attack happened, he went and got a Subway from Subway and went upstairs, and he didn't call police first. He called his manager.
Because every time I fake a hate crime,
So-
I'm craving a 6-inch meatball.
How can you eat after that? So, but you know, you never know. I think within the next week or so, he's probably going to make a statement. He's already lawyered up, so I'm sure his attorney is advising him, dude, say something before it just, you know, just balls up into something mega crazy.
I mean, this is way worse than that swimmer. Remember Ryan Lochte?
I was just thinking that in my head. I wasn't
Ryan
sure if anyone knew
Lochte,
that.
he was
That's
down in
right.
Brazil, and he
Yeah.
was like hammered one night or something, and he faked getting
robbery.
carjacked or
I
something.
think he said it was a robbery at a gas station
Yeah.
that they pulled a gun and stuck it right to his temple.
right. And later on, he was like, you know, I was just kidding. It didn't really happen.
Just joking.
But this is bad. I mean, we're accusing two people of a hate crime, and so I don't know what happened. Maybe they actually did it. I don't know, but it's not looking so good for Mr. Empire.
No, not really. So we'll follow this story.
Right.
I'm sure something will happen before the end of the week. So, in NBA news, the NBA announced on Saturday their plans to bring professional basketball league to Africa. What do you think of that?
So they can pluck them from that league to
Yeah.
the
Like
NBA.
a minor league.
Like, yeah, it's just a circuit for them, so
Exactly.
they can, you know, scope out the talent.
Right.
So that it actually has a presidential push of Obama. Obama's the one that's you know, helping them with that. They're saying they're going to be first starting off with 12 teams. And they're hopefully going to start that January 20th.
Well, good, because
2020.
because all of the teams who win championships now go to visit Pelosi and Obama. They don't even go to the White House anymore, which
I
that really
wasn't going
upsets
to
me,
say
by the way.
that story, but
Look,
since you brought it up.
I'm going to say it again. I'm okay with teams boycotting this White House visit, but I'm not okay with boycotting it in lieu of visiting Pelosi and former President Obama. It's a slap in the face to the office. I don't care if you like this president, hate him, whatever.
Well, is the boycott because of they don't respect Trump, or is it because of the whole McDonald's thing to Clemson?
No, I think it's because of Trump, of course.
Yeah, I think it's just
That
has to do
Clemson thing
with,
was kind of cool, I thought. You know, the government was shut down. He's like, I'm going to go buy McDonald's on my own
Seriously?
dime. I thought it was fun.
Really?
Why not?
What's the problem? When
We're
I
all
was
college
in
kids anyway. They live off
do you
ramen.
It's
know
only
how
their
many
biggest game of
Crystal
their-
burgers
Yeah.
I had in college? You
Lived
out
off
of your
ramen
mind?
That's
in
but you're going to
Crystal,
visit
exactly.
the president. I mean, scale it up
It
a little
was
bit.
laid out in a very fanciful
Order from
way.
Red Lobster instead. You know, step it up a little bit.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. What's going on with Ally Mac?
So, I think we're in the wrong profession.
Okay.
And here's why. So, Manny Machado just signed with the San Diego Padres for $3 million. Hello?
3 million?
I'm sorry,
add two
300
zeros.
I
million.
was about to say, maybe for the game. for a game?
$300 million. So, isn't that something?
How many years,
The
you know?
10. Look, I'll tell you how many years because I know this. The Padres are gonna padre. We know that the Padres are always gonna padre. 10 years. Are you guys dumb? I mean, have we not learned our mistakes? Look at Pujols. Look at even A-Rod with the Yankees. These 10-year contracts never ever work out. That's gonna come back to bite the San Diego Padres. I understand the urgency and you want to sell some tickets and things like that, and you want to bring in a great player. He's a great player, but 10 years. Never,
Sox, right?
ever
Come
works
from the
out.
Red Sox?
Who? Machado?
Yeah.
No, he was Orioles, I think.
Oh, okay.
Right? He's a Red Sox killer.
Okay.
But these 10-year contracts never work out. It's a huge mistake, Padres. What are you doing? They just fell into the trap. You know, they saw so much publicity out there, but 10-year contracts never work out. Mark my words.
What's the highest paid baseball player?
I think it's Giancarlo, right?
I'm not sure right now.
I think
but-
I thought it was Giancarlo Stanton for a little while,
Yeah.
but it might be someone
At
else.
how much?
Oh, something crazy like that.
Yeah,
That's insane.
But I'm telling you, the 10-year contract never ever works. So, but we can talk more about that. Good job, Allie Mack. We're going to talk about personal injury, how to maximize your case if you've been injured, why that McDonald's spilled coffee case maybe isn't quite as bad and funny as you might have heard. And we'll do that all right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando for a Tuesday night. Thank you for spending time with us here in our favorite sports radio station. Watch the show if you wish at Behind the Law Radio. My name is Justin Clark. To my left, it's Allie Mack. Hello, Allie Mack.
Hello there.
I also have Brianna here to my right producing the show. Hi, Brianna.
Hey, Justin.
And joined today by a very special guest. His name is Brandon Stewart. He's an attorney here in town, handles a lot of personal injury type cases. Brandon, PI lawyers really do kind of get a bad rap.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Like, why do you think that is? Why do people hate personal injury lawyers a lot of times?
Because they think they're just chasing ambulances and, not thinking about the clients and just thinking about themselves first and how much money they're going to milk off of an insurance company. There's a lot of negative connotations that go into a personal injury attorney.
When I drive down the interstate and I see a sign and it says $500,000, right? Or $1 million, does that really mean that injured party only got, or they got $500,000 net in their pocket?
No. In fact, if you actually look at those signs, because I've actually done this, if you look a little bit closer at the signs in very small print, it'll say before medicals were taken out, before attorney's fees were taken out, and things of that nature. So, no, the amount that's on that check, it's in the fine print.
Very little.
That's right. So they all look very happy with their check, but like I tell everybody I come across, I wish they would pan the camera down to their underbody, like their leg area, because they're probably missing a limb or something along those lines. Something horrible happened to those people, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, so talk to me about that a little bit. Let's say that we did settle a case for $1 million, right? So first of all, that injured party, our client essentially, is certainly not walking away with $1 million. They're going to pay legal fees, probably a third, and then a significant amount of medical bills as well, because anything that you pay medically outside of the $10,000 PIP, and we can talk about that in a minute, is going to essentially come out of your pocket at some point. So I think if you walk away net with 50 to 60% of that gross number, that $1 million, it's probably a pretty good day for an injured person, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But again, it wasn't like you got a skin
boo-boo.
knee, boo-boo on the knee, or you just tripped and fell. I mean, something horrible happened to get that money. And people need to, you got to think a little bit more rational about it. When you see these people smiling with their signs, I mean, they're smiling for the photo, but I can almost guarantee you, and I can't guarantee you because we're lawyers, obviously, but I can almost guarantee you that something horrible happened to them injury-wise to where they were able to secure that type of settlement for themselves.
And, so to get $1 million, let's say, I mean, you almost have to have had some sort of surgery, some
absolutely.
cutting going on, right?
Yeah, and then when it comes to the surgery in our profession, it's not a walk in the park. It's you got your back, you got split open in the back, and there's usually some type of hardware that was put onto you, into your body. So it's not like, you go through a happy day and going through surgery, especially in the personal injury field.
And what about if you, like for instance, if I'm in an accident and I do go to the hospital and I do have get some treatment, how long before I see a settlement? on an average claim that you see?
So it's funny that you asked that, because that's the $1 million question every client comes into us and asks. So when is this going to be done? When do I get my money? It's like, well, listen. Like,
They're not even done with treatment.
Yeah, you're not
they
even
want to
done with
know.
treatment. It's
So.
not, the insurance company's not ripping you off a check. They're not going to look at you and say, you look like about 100,000 case. But like, they don't do that. Like, you have to. It's depending on your injury and what a doctor recommends you do. So you go to the hospital, great. But the hospital, you're not going to keep going back to the hospital. At that point, you have to go seek medical treatment from a specialty provider who specializes in pain management. And so as many times as you follow up with that doctor, and then they'll recommend you to either surgery, conservative treatment, they do injections, things like that. And you have to just do it all. Like, whatever your doctor tells you to do, you have to do it. And then at the end of all that, once everything's complete and you're not getting any better, which is known as maximum medical improvement, at that point is when you can start negotiating with the insurance company for a settlement.
So many things have to go right, or even wrong, if you want to think about it that way, to get a really big personal injury settlement, Allie Mack. Because number one is you have to have some significant injuries. I mean, there's no doubt about it, where you're going to have to get a significant amount of medical treatment to really drive that settlement number up there. So when I say things go right, I mean, I don't really mean that, because it means things went pretty badly because you've been injured. There's no doubt about it. But another huge key to this is who hit you.
Yeah.
Right, Brandon? I mean, talk about that. Do we even have to have insurance in this state?
So the crazy thing about Florida, well, I mean, yes, you have to have insurance, but the question is the type of insurance. Do you have to have the type of insurance that covers what's called your bodily injury in a car accident? And in the state of Florida, is bodily injury required? Allie, do you know?
No.
No, it's not required. You don't know.
No, it's not required.
Both.
It is
Absolutely.
required.
Bodily injury?
It is,
No, it's
isn't
not.
it? I thought UM
Look,
was.
trivia is in the next section. Just answer the question.
Sorry, okay. So bodily injury is not required in the state of Florida, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yep, I agree.
Essentially, what bodily injury is, it's a clause you can add to your insurance that whenever you hit somebody and they were to sue you, well, rather than them taking your house, your car, your second child, whatever it is they're trying to take from you, you have insurance to protect you from something like that. It's called bodily injury, and that plan isn't required in the state of Florida. So when somebody hits you, and just because they have a Geico card with them, sorry, I didn't mean to drop names here, just because they have an insurance card with them, doesn't mean that they have the proper insurance to cover you for your injury.
Yeah, it's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, 321-282-1055. And if you have been injured in an accident, and even if you want a second opinion, give us a call. Give Brandon and Stewart a call, 321-282-1055. Brandon, this really upsets me in a lot of ways, because I think even as you have children, things change a little bit too. I think about Pilar and Sophia Mila driving down the street, and some drunk driver hits them, or someone just driving like an idiot down I-4 and rear ends my family. They don't have to have a single dollar in coverage to cover my family's injuries. This is just a terrible thing. I mean, we have to have some sort of requirement for this bodily injury coverage. But the good thing is, if you want to go ahead and protect yourself or your family with some insurance in case you were to be hit by someone who doesn't have this insurance, there's an option for that, Brandon, correct?
Correct. And Allie had mentioned it earlier. It's called uninsured motorist, which is also not required in the state of Florida, by the way. So both coverages that cover people when they get into horrific accidents are not required in the state of Florida, because Florida is known as a no-fault state when it comes to insurance. And we can go into it, but essentially you have about $10,000 in what's called personal injury protection to cover you in case of an accident. But $10,000, let me tell you, when you are seriously injured, doesn't go very far when it comes to these medical providers. But like Justin was saying before, the best thing to get for you and your family to protect everybody is what's called an uninsured motorist protection under your insurance plan.
So let's say that I don't have my own health insurance. I am injured in an accident. Wasn't my fault. And the PIP has run out. I went to the chiropractor a few times. I went and got some physical therapy. But the $10,000 is totally gone, Brandon Stewart. And I don't have private health insurance. Am I just done? I mean, can I just not see any other doctor?
Well, it depends. Is there any bodily injury or UM on either side? In this hypothetical?
Yes.
Then yeah, you can absolutely continue to keep treating. A lot of times, and this is why it helps to get an attorney, actually, because a lot of doctors want some form of protection, knowing that they will get paid. The PIP gets run out, but then they know that you were involved in a car accident. So they say to themselves, okay, well, we'll just, get paid whenever they get a settlement. However, if you're not represented by an attorney, they're not really going to necessarily trust you. They're going to pay them when you get paid. So when you have an attorney, we have these things called a letter of protection that we sign. We put our names on and say, listen, so-and-so is getting treated right now, but we promise you that when we get a settlement, we're going to go ahead and pay you whatever medical bills are still outstanding.
Do you think that if I have, and this is not any sales pitch whatsoever, but let's just say that I'm not a lawyer, I get injured in an accident.
You own a plumbing company.
That's normally the... And I get injured in an accident, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to pay a lawyer this 30%, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to call Geico, since we used them before. Do you think that they're going to offer someone without a lawyer the same amount they would offer someone with a good lawyer?
No, absolutely not. And in fact, they're going to offer you somewhere in the thousands for sure. And to the average person, they're going to say, that's better than what I have now. And then a lot of people will take it, not realizing, like, wait a second. Like, this person actually had, $50,000 in coverage, not $5,000 that they just offered me. Because $5,000 sounds good, right?
Right.
People use $5,000 in their pocket right now. Why not? I didn't think I was hurt that bad. And then they settle with you right then. And the problem is, you settle right then. Well, guess what? A week later, all of a sudden, you're, leaning a certain way. You're limping. Who knows what's going on? And you just realize, well, I just settled with these people. I just signed a release with these people. I can't sue them again. And, and insurance companies try that all the time, actually, to a lot of our clients.
So what if somebody has already gone through that, has already started negotiating or speaking with Geico, with their insurance company, and hasn't sought a legal advice? Can they still call, you to get, before they sign the release, or is it?
Yeah.
And I think that is a fantastic question for Brandon Stewart right on the other side of this break. We're going to also play Stump the Clark. If you want to play along, try to win my money, follow at Behind the Law Radio. Right now, we got another edition of Stump the Clarky and another half hour ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you for spending your weeknights here with us on our favorite sports radio station. You can also watch the show live at Behind the Law Radio, Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. Also, don't forget to watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. TV 27. To my left, my good friend and co-host, Allie Mack. How are you, Allie Mack?
I'm doing fantastic.
Thank you. And to my right, producing the show, it's the beautiful Brianna. If you want to check these two out, by the way, go to at Behind the Law Radio.
What do you mean check them out? We're both married.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, hi, Brianna.
No one
how
can
are
see
you?
me.
I'm the one wearing a suit today. Can anyone explain to me why and hi, Brianna. I'm sorry. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How
Great,
are you?
thank you for answering me. I'm wearing a suit today, which I don't like to do very much. I
No.
realize I'm a lawyer and all that, but I try to stay away from the suit thing because I want my clients to feel comfortable, and I'm lazy. But my office, this time of year, it's like, look, this is like the high rent district kind of. I mean, this office is expensive. I go in my particular office, and it's 110. I'm here in the studio, and it's 10 degrees. I mean, we can't figure
It's
out
freezing.
I mean, it's unbelievable, this office right now. Half of it, you're sweating. Half of it, you're freezing. If you're listening, landlord people here, we're doing a radio show and a TV show
keeping
here.
track.
Can you please, for the love of God, fix the AC stuff in this office? I mean, Brandon, any idea what's going on? Hi, Brandon Stewart's here, by the way.
Yeah, it's 100 degrees in my
Yeah,
office.
it's
like,
crazy.
flat out. And
I don't know
both
what's
me
going
and
on.
my paralegal can't take it.
So anyway, Brandon, you've never played Stump the Clarky with me, and I'm a little for bragging. If you guys don't know, Brandon and I work together. He works here at the firm, So if I were to lose today, I've only lost like one time.
We're about to lose again.
And
so.
if I were to lose, I'm going to have to deal with this over and over.
But you had a couple of tied games.
Well, yeah, but I've only lost once. Well, it's true. I mean, a tie is not a loss. So let's be honest, guys. It's not a loss.
Okay.
He's about to get murdered right now.
Without further ado, it's time for Stump the Clarky.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
Thank you, Fulton Allen Show announcer.
I think I know that voice.
Yeah, exactly. Brianna, what is the category today?
The category today is going to be all about the state of Florida.
Oh. Person on
Yeah, we're a little kooky
That's
down
fine.
here. How many kooky people are in Florida? A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, for real.
All right, go ahead. Question number one on Stump the Clarky for a Tuesday. ESPN 580 Orlando.
I'll start with the softball. What year did the state of Florida become a state?
And by the way, Brandon's lived here since he was born,
Yeah.
so this is
He's
kind of
like
cheating.
32.
Yeah, well,
Right.
30, hey, come on now.
Oh,
Definitely
30.
wasn't here when it was.
all right. What year was the state of Florida formed? Okay.
I could have sworn you asked this question on another show.
No, she definitely did.
Okay.
Question number 2 for a Tuesday night edition of Behind the Law, Brianna.
What is the population of the state of
Florida?
Florida? What is the population of the state of Florida?
Yeah, he's riding fast over there,
He
Allie
is.
Mack, and I don't know about
Like he
that.
has all the answers in his pocket.
I might take loss number 2 of the year tonight, I feel. I don't know. I'm not feeling great about this at all. This Stump the Clarky. Look, can we, are we on a delay? How long is the delay? If we lose, I want to try to cut this out. Can we cut this out
Oh,
of the
he's
show?
giving his
we
answer.
could, but
Hey, guys.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Question number 3. Hope you're playing along at home with us in your car or play along at Behind the Law Radio. Go ahead, Brianna. Question number 3.
question number 3: how many square miles is the state of Florida?
I know Jacksonville is the biggest city in America.
Land mass wise, that is true. But how many square miles is the state?
Can we just ask the question about Jacksonville?
No, we definitely can't.
Can I get extra points for
You
the Jacksonville
cannot.
thing? Sorry, what was the question?
That's like from Pensacola, like all the way to Miami.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you know,
what was
the
it?
entire state of Florida.
Yeah,
How many
know,
square
like-
miles?
But
Yeah.
that little part in between's like.
Just guess, people. How many square miles is the state of Florida? It's not as,
Oh, it's not as big as we think it is?
yeah, it's
Okay.
surprisingly-
Let me cross out my answer.
it's a surprisingly lower number than I thought. And I don't know if they were just counting land mass and not including the water. So I'm not sure where they got the number from, but it's on the state of Florida website.
All right, everyone written their answer down. Hope you're playing along at home as well. All right, question 4, a final question, Stump the Clarky for a Tuesday.
What number state is the state of Florida? As far as when it was incorporated as a state. So we are the blank state to join the United States of America.
All right, well,
Allie, erase 51. There's
51?
I said erase 51. There's only 50 states.
No.
that's messed up.
Well, if you had.
Carry the one.
if you count Peru.
There you go.
No, it's at least 70.
All right, let's score this game today. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. It's Stump the Clarky. Question number 1, Brianna, what was it?
What year did Florida become a state?
Let's go to our special guest, Brandon Stewart. Brandon, what did you have?
I said 1851.
Oh, I feel like that's a little bit high. Allie Mack, what did you go with?
1828?
All right, 1828. Justin Clark went with 1787.
Wow, what in the world?
I think I was not using my head.
So it's 1845.
Nice. To me.
Hold on.
Answer.
And we actually. Oh.
Hold on. That's for me. I'll give myself just
Where
a...
did you get that answer
I
from?
fault it now. I agree with you. That was a dumb answer.
Do you know what country Florida used to belong to?
Oh, wow.
Spain.
You're right.
Are you
So
doing
we had to
that?
buy it from Spain at some point.
Okay, whatever with your extra. You already won. All right, who won that?
Me.
Yeah, Brandon.
Brandon won, so
boy
it's
here.
1851.
1-0. Brandon Stewart climbs ahead and Stump the Clark. You go ahead, Brianna. Question number 2. We'll continue scoring this game.
Yeah, what is the population of the state of Florida?
All right, we'll go with Allie Mack first on this. Population in Florida.
15 million?
Pretty good answer. Justin Clark went with 12 million. Brandon Stewart, what did you have?
Yikes, I went way too low on this one. I said 7 million.
Sometimes you would be surprised. You think you're wrong and you're actually right. What is the right answer?
Not in this case. It's 20.9 million. Allie Mack gets
Allie
the point.
Mack is on the board. Congratulations, Allie Mack.
My second time.
Great answer. That's the way to go. That's the
Thank
way
you,
to
thank you,
go.
thank you.
So, Clarky getting stumped today so far. It's 1 for Brandon Stewart, 1 for Allie Mack, 0 for yours truly. Question number 3. We'll keep scoring this game.
How many square miles is the state of Florida?
I feel like you guys are going to go a little too high on this one. We'll go with Brandon Stewart first. What do you say?
I originally had 800, but then Brianna talked me out of it.
Okay.
And I went 650 square miles.
650,000 square miles, right?
Yes.
No, he said 650 square miles. Go ahead.
30?
30,000?
30,000?
All right. I went with 380,000 square miles. What is the right answer?
It's 65,000 square
Oh,
miles.
my gosh. I'm terrible at this game.
65,755 square miles. Give the point to Allie Mack.
Allie Mack gets another point, pulls ahead.
Great answer. That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
Look how excited she looks.
So I am guaranteed defeat today, but surprisingly, we might go down to Allie Mack and not Brandon Stewart, our special guest.
That's kind of exciting.
Do I win
I
anything?
misunderstood question 3, obviously.
A water with
The
my
wa-
face on it.
Great.
Yeah, we're drinking Justin Clark water bottles right now, so I'll give you an extra one if you like. If you do win this game, all right, go ahead, Brianna. We'll continue scoring this game. The final question for us: Stump the Clarky behind the law. Go ahead.
I guess what number state is the state of Florida? One
I'll go first here since I'm guaranteed loss. I went with 19th. I was thinking, it's definitely after the first 13, and I couldn't figure out where to go from there. Brandon Stewart, what did you have?
I said 23rd.
23rd. Pretty good answer, Allie
I
Mack.
said 22nd.
22nd.
Right
If
there
she
in
gets this
22nd.
one again.
No, 1 by 1.
What is it?
Brandon, it's 27th.
Oh,
So Allie and I
27.
27th.
Tiebreaker question.
23.
Great answer.
27.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically it goes to Brandon.
Two.
Sorry,
Two.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he wanted to share his point. That's so
That's okay.
sweet.
Well, that's okay. So it was 2
Let
to 0, right?
True.
I got 0 today?
That's true.
None.
You got 0.
You know
Goose egg,
absolutely nothing
goose
about
egg.
the
I'm
state
sorry,
of
I couldn't
Florida.
hear that. Justin, how many did you get?
I got 0
Zero.
correct today. By the way, I am the only real transplant here. You guys have been here your whole lives. I moved here when I was 30-something years old, 30 years old.
I wasn't born here.
Okay,
Same.
but how many years have you been here?
A long time.
Yeah, exactly. So who's been here the shortest amount? Me, by far. I've been here 10 years. You've been here how many years? 30? 30 what? Okay.
Excuse me, I'm only 25.
Brianna, how many years have you been in Florida?
9 or 10.
Uh-huh. Bull. Really?
9 or 10.
Okay. Well, you didn't play the game.
I've been here over
I would have
20
beaten
years.
you if you would have played. But anyway. So I lost. I feel so bad.
No tiebreaker.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
Plenty more just ahead. We're going to talk about your personal injury accident, how to maximize that settlement, all right on the other side of this break. One more segment ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
You were about to dance.
Never. 321-282-1055. It is Behind the Law. We follow live local Loud Nicky football at 8 o'clock every single weeknight. Also, watch the TV show Behind the Law on TV this Sunday and every Sunday. TV 27. So, by popular demand, we got to go back to something real quick, guys, because, first of all, for the first time ever, I was shut out and Stump the Clarky, and I actually, it's only the second time I've ever been beaten in Stump the Clarky, and I got 0. But there was a tie. Allie Mack had 2. Our special guest attorney, Brandon Stewart, had 2. So, by popular demand.
All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky.
It's
get
one
over here.
tiebreaker today on Stump the Clarky. Are you two ready? I'm out of it because I got, 0.
I was born for this moment, Justin.
I'm ready for you.
All right. So, Brianna, what is the question for a
writing it down?
tiebreaker edition
Right,
of
you're
Stump the
gonna write it
Clarky?
down.
Brandon
That's
Stewart versus Allie Mack. What is it?
No cheating, Allie.
So, yeah, Florida Governor Rick Scott declined his salary. What amount was that salary?
Why is Allie writing so fast?
Because she knew.
That's
She knew what
unbelievable.
was going on.
Okay.
She knew what was happening.
What was the salary?
Now, what was his salary supposed to be? He declined his salary as governor. What was the salary to be?
All right,
You ready?
ready.
All right, let's go for Brandon Stewart, our special guest first. What was your answer? Who's the
Don't
closest?
give me the stinky eye.
I don't.
Rick Scott declined his salary as governor. What was his salary to be?
I don't like how Allie wrote the answer so fast. But
All right.
I said $2 million.
Okay.
300,000.
Hold on 1 second, please. Just give me 1 second, please.
Ooh, better luck next
$2
time.
million.
Oh yeah, duh. It's a state position.
Okay. Anyway, Allie Mack, what did you say?
300,000.
300,000. The correct answer, Brianna, was.
A little bit over 130,000. So
Hey,
Allie Mack wins.
Victory, victory, victory for
Wow.
Allie Mack.
Great answer. That's the way to
Her
go. That's
first
the way to go.
official victory on
Congrats.
Stump the Clarky. I'm so happy for you, Allie Mack.
It only
Excellent
took 5 months.
work. I'm so happy for you.
Gotta think
Okay,
hard about
folks,
this
thank you
question.
so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm
What did I
starving.
win?
That was a win. Good job. I told you, bottles of water with my face on them. So I hope you can enjoy those. Good job. I'm very proud of you, Allie Mack.
Good job, Allie.
So let's get back to Brandon Stewart here a little bit. Personal injury attorney here in town. We talked earlier about how difficult it really is to get a lot of money out of a personal injury accident, right? But also personal injury attorneys have done a lot of good for society as well. Think about it. I mean, we keep corporate greed in check by a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
What was the story about McDonald's that always gets all that run where the lady got, ooh, boo-boo with the hot coffee and got $1 million or whatever?
Yeah.
What's the real background, though, of that story?
I don't know if anyone saw the documentary on that. Did you see that one, Allie?
I didn't see
oh
that
my
one.
God, it's called Hot Coffee, actually. And they showed it to us in law school because everyone thought that, oh well, all I have to go to McDonald's, drink coffee, spill it on myself, and there I go. I get $3 million. I get millions of dollars worth in the settlement. But if you saw the third-degree burns that this woman, sustained, you wouldn't think like, wow, this wasn't just like a little red rash on her arm or something like that. It was like McDonald's was making the coffee unreasonably hot. I believe the lady or the woman had put the coffee in between her legs and then it spilled, and it just gave her third-degree burns all down her thighs. And if you see these burns, I'm telling you, people, it's a disgusting thing to look at, and it wasn't something like just a little bit of a burn. So you need to look a little bit more in depth into something like that, and when you hear something like that, to really understand the true side of that story.
Absolutely. When a young person comes to you, Brandon Stewart, and says, hey, Brandon, I know you're a lawyer. I'm thinking about going to law school. What do you say?
Well, the same thing you told me 5 years ago. However
was
long
that?
it was. Go into ophthalmology. And I'm not kidding.
what you
That's
said?
literally what Justin told me to do. And I'm actually starting to see why he told me that, and I kind of wish I didn't.
So Brandon was actually a law clerk here before he ever went to law school. I'll tell you the story. So he would say, oh, Justin, it looks like you're stressed out. I was like, yeah, I'm stressed out. He's like, should I go to law school? I was like, no, go be an optometrist.
Optometry, not ophthalmology.
And he was like, why? And I would just cover my eye, because all you have to do is say, cover your eye, and just tell them they read it wrong, and they have to buy glasses. I mean, it's a racket.
Yeah, and buy the glasses that I make.
Yeah,
You know?
I can sell you them right here.
Yeah.
They're right here. So I used to tell him to be an optometrist. He didn't listen to my advice, and has turned into a very good attorney. And Brianna's actually looking up the pictures of the McDonald's lady, by the way, right now.
Yeah,
They
it's,
are.
it's
Ooh, it's
bad.
bad?
I'm telling you, it's bad.
Horrible.
Can you,
Ew.
Brianna, can you share these at Behind the Law Radio? Go to Facebook actually right now, and or in a couple of minutes, and you'll be able to see the pictures of the McDonald's lady who everyone made fun of. Said lawyers suck because she got $1 million.
Oh my God!
I mean,
Look at
she
these
was
pictures.
borderline on her deathbed
Yeah.
because of these terrible injuries. Look, if it weren't for personal injury attorneys, the Ford Pinto would still be driving on the street blowing up on people.
Yeah.
It's a real check and balance system. You can't have all of this corporate greed at the peril of our children, of our young people. The toy makers sometimes who would invent toys that they knew was going to damage people were going to die. Kids were going to die because of buying these toys. Businesses go through a cost-benefit analysis when they invent something new. They're like, this is the cost, but this is the benefit. Does the cost outweigh, or does the benefit outweigh the cost? And they just assume that things like that are going to happen. So really, though, when someone comes to you, Brandon Stewart, and says they want to go to law school, what do you tell them?
I say get ready to never have a social life again, do a lot of reading, and be stressed out for 3 years.
Yeah? How hard would you say law school really is? So it's for those of us listening right now who didn't go to law school, how, is it really that hard?
Yes.
Really?
Maybe it was easy to you. I thought it was, to me, yeah, it was difficult. It was a lot of, you can't fly by in law school. It's a lot of studying. It's a lot of reading. It's only one test. There's not like, in high school and college, you have homework assignments for grades and things like that. In law school, it's one test, final exam at the end of the semester. So you better been paying attention. And that's pretty much how it works. You got to read the cases. And also the, Socratic method there in law school. So, okay, you're in college or in high school, the teacher asks a question, fine, don't raise your hand, you're not going to get called on. In law school, it doesn't matter. You could literally, in fact, I think the professors are looking for the guy that's not raising their hand and looks like they don't want to be, called on. Yeah. And then they make you stand up.
Those are the pictures of the coffee person. I mean, that's
That is
terrible.
horrible.
Go to Behind the Law Radio. You can see the pictures of these traumatic. Hey, look, the coffee is pretty.
Oh my God.
Pretty darn hot there, right? I mean, I'm sure they've cooled it off since then. Sometimes I get a coffee and I'm like, this is dangerous.
That's
this coffee.
rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I like my
That's rough.
coffee as warm as the next guy, but geez.
Yeah, coffee is not supposed to burn you like that.
No,
Not like
absolutely
that
not.
At all.
Take me there. You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mack, the beautiful Brianna, all joining you on a Tuesday evening. Thank you for listening. Attorney Brandon Stewart is here with us today. Let's say that I am injured in an accident, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm just not one of these people that sues people. I don't want to do it. I mean, if I'm injured, am I really suing that person who hit me? You know what I mean? Am I really going to have to sue them?
No, and we don't want to either, honestly. I mean, we're not looking to file lawsuits, and we certainly don't want to file lawsuits against individuals who, unless they hit you with a gold-encrusted Rolls Royce or something like that, then odds are they don't have. And odds are that they personally don't have enough money to pay for whatever damage you sustained. So no, we're actually just going after the insurance company to make sure that you're paid exactly what you're supposed to get paid in your auto accident. In fact, I wanted to talk about a case that we had.
Go ahead.
We had an individual, a nice woman who actually works as. Am I allowed to say what she works as? Or
Yeah.
Go to that. She actually works as she's a pediatric cancer nurse. She works at Advent Health now, and either way, she works at the hospital, and she was involved in a pretty serious accident. And we had settled with bodily injury and for the individual that hit her, but it turned out that this person was under the scope of their employment at the time when they hit her in the accident. So there was a work policy that covered. Our client went through very extensive medical treatment. I mean, very extensive. It wasn't actually surgery, but there was a lot of injections, epidurals, you name it. So she was, poked and prodded and injected with, on numerous occasions. The insurance company offered us $2,500.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's like bad faith. You know what I mean? Come on, guys.
Wow.
So, I tried to do my best to negotiate with them like I usually do, but they weren't moving on the number. So I said, okay, fine, we're going to sue you. and then we sued them. About lawsuit. Obviously, we're not looking to sue people because it does take a little while. But I'd say about 4 or 5 months later, once we filed a lawsuit against them, we settled. Am I allowed to say the settlement?
I mean, significantly more.
Significantly more.
A couple
than the
more
25
zeros.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more than the $2,500 that they were offering.
Good job today, Brandon Stewart. If you have any questions for Brandon or if you've been injured in an accident, give him a call. 321-282-1055. You had a good time today?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Kind of last minute, I know, but you did.
I'm just mad that I lost to Allie Mack.
You should have stopped where you were ahead before the overtime edition of Behind the Law. For the beautiful Brianna, Allie Mack, you did a great job today.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing that story on that guy from Empire, by the way.
I know
if you didn't do that, I
it.
didn't know what I was gonna do with myself. You've been listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. We follow live, local, loud every single weeknight, 8 o'clock p.m. Allie Mack, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando.